Last day off on holidays before I have to go back to work. It'd be rude not to go fishing. You're joining me today on another angling adventure. Hasn't been any angling for me for 2 weeks. Why? Well, very good reason. I was on honeymoon with MSW. We had a thoroughly cracking time in Las Vegas and in Hawaii. Seriously, folks, if ever you want to go and see paradise, Hawaii, cracking place, beautiful place. Locals are all top end. The local beers are awesome. Well, as awesome as they get for American beers. But yeah, well worth the trip. I thoroughly enjoyed Waikiki Beach, Hawaii, and I will go back. Unfortunately, the plans to get some fishing at Hawaii didn't quite work out so well. A combination of trying to do romantic honeymoon stuff and the charter boats that the hotel was prepared to sort me out were very expensive for a short time. You know, you were looking, I think they were looking $500 or something like that for a 4 to 6 hour trip. For one person, if you had the cash disposable, you could have went, and my wife wouldn't have minded if I went. But to take 2 people, because she would have been quite interested in going as well, it just kind of put a dent in the old bank balance. But no, I will go back to Hawaii. We met up with some cracking people, but I will go back to Hawaii, and this time it'll be more of a holiday where we can, both my wife and I can do our own individual things to make a holiday. I didn't get sunburnt to hell. I was plastering on the suntan lotion, factor 50. You know, it was the sort of place where you get up in the morning and you go and have a breakfast and we walk around and do some bits and pieces, see some sights, chill out, and then retreat to a shady spot for the middle of the day, because the heat in the middle of the day would kick the shit out of you. But it was good. My wife and I weren't the whitest people in Honolulu. There's a couple of Americans there and their skin was almost see-through. So that was interesting. We weren't the whitest people there. But no, seriously, I had a cracking time. Thank you to all those who wished me well, and cheers. Oh well, here we are. This is a public jetty called Corridilla. You'll recognise this place. It's the place I fished for the pike at this winter time. And all the pike I caught had damage. I don't usually fish this place for bream or for roach. But we're in the middle of festival season here on the Erne. So it's a case of finding a place where there isn't any professional match anglers. Just literally set up, had a couple of casts, put some bait on, put a 3 foot hook length on now, some maggots. Nice, it's peaceful. Let's see if we get some fish. It's just gone 9:30 in the morning. Had my first bite so far. I think it might have been a perch because it rattled the tip and then kind of set the hook, popped off. It's like a perch, maybe a trout, but it's a bite. So it only took 45 minutes to get a bite. When I was away on my honeymoon, we went to a place called Mandalay Bay in Vegas to see they have a massive aquarium full of sharks and all sorts of other fish. Cracking place. If you're ever in Vegas and you just want a place to chill out for half an hour but you have a hangover, check out the Mandalay Bay Shark Aquarium. Awesome place. I'm going to show you some clips of the aquarium now. Enjoy. Oh, see it? Those are big silver arowana. Those things there from the Amazon. Oh yes, they'll eat you. Don't touch them. And those are
that's just a wee bit bigger than Katie's. Just a wee tiny.
Yeah, the snake's just a bit bigger than the one we have at home. We're at the Mandalay Bay big aquarium. This place is awesome. You see these for catfish. That's a red-tailed catfish again from the Amazon. Another type of catfish, the size of that bugger. And there's a big stingray in there. Here's another one. And that is a pacu. These here are vegetarian piranha. Hold on, I get a picture. Yes, a vegetarian. Turn around, have a smile. Yeah, they're huge. There's a thorny back, or there's a camouflage ray in there at the back. There's another big black one there. And here is Mr. Packer, just chilling out, doing fish type shit. I see it. Yep, no sticking your hand in that one. Yeah. I take it that's why you're here, because idiots have tried to stick their hand in it.
Yeah, pretty much stay away. You can't stay that big.
These are, what are they, red belly piranhas?
Yeah, some red belly, black gun, black spot.
So those are the ones that bite you then?
Don't stick your hand in. I think that's a grouper. Not too sure. There's a shark. Got it. Holds them. Look at this bugger. That's a float. I don't know what it is. Don't know what type of fish that one is. You're the one head-butted by it, anyway.
No.
It's one hell of a fish tank. The sharks. And a big dripper at the back there. Look at the size of this boy. Look at the size of him, he's huge. I bet that boy would go well in a fishing rod. And there's all the other wee fish, otherwise known as hors d'oeuvres. Here we have some Chinese tail bar lionfish. These fish are actually invasive in Florida and America. They actually kill them and eat them.
You're going to eat one now, Dana?
What?
You're going to try one now?
No, they're poisonous. See those big fins? They're all loaded with poisonous barbs.
So guys, again, one finger, please. It's like you're pointing, no eyes or tails. We want to aim for the middle of the back, side of the body. Now, despite their size, these animals are fairly delicate, especially on busy holiday weekends. One finger helps keep them safe.
Here we have some of the jellyfish.
Now these are starfish and stingrays. Now they're hard. They have big muscular tails, so they're very similar to sharks, so they are raised. Now their skin is very shark-like as well. They have special skins here called denticles. They're very small, but they are sharp and pointed. Now when you touch them, of course,
This place is definitely worth a visit.
that helps keep out the foreign bodies, bacteria, parasites, etc. from the animal's skin in their natural environment.
Are you touching them?
That one?
Now, if you have a horseshoe crab close enough for you to touch, these do have an exoskeleton made of chitin. They are very hard and smooth. Now, these look deceptively like stingrays. They are not stingrays or even fish. They are invertebrates. They are more closely related to scorpions and spiders than any other living animal.
See a big sawtooth? No.
There's like one down there lying down.
Yeah. I'm not sure how good this footage will turn out because it's very dark. What do you think? $25, is it well spent?
Yes. That is
Is there a better place to go when you're hungover?
No.
See the size of that booger there? That's a type of ray, a type of shark. Well, all sharks and rays are the same family anyway. They're I'm not sure how you can see it. There's a big sea turtle up on the surface. Well, we're at a wee quiet bit, but we're catching absolutely nothing. I'm going to run through my fishing gear here. I'm using the old faithful 12 foot 8, 60 gram Dutch Master feeder rod. This is the feeder rod that I use for short to medium chucks. I have a 13 foot 80 gram one that I use for slightly longer chucks. And I have another 13 foot one that goes up to 100 grams that I use for throwing massive chucks. I quite like the Dutch Master range of feeder rods, although I think Preston Innovations is looking to replace them. So they're going to be missed that one. So they're going to be obsolete, which is a pity, because I think they're a cracking rod. Now I know some people are going to disagree with me, and to those people I say fair play. If you don't want to use them, don't use them. Personally, I like the rod. This is why I paid the money to buy it. I'm fishing a standard paternoster setup. I've showed you that on a few videos now. The reel I use for my medium feeder work is a Shimano Aero 4000. This is their purpose-built feeder reel. They don't make these anymore. I don't know why they don't make them, but I quite like it. It's loaded up with the braid that I got in the last session out. I'll show you a picture of that now. Fishing the Preston window, it's like a window feeder, but this is like their window cage feeder. It's a 1.5 ounce feeder. The reason I'm fishing the cage type feeder is because I'm wanting a little trickle of bait to go down in the water. Do you like the way I did that? With the hands. See, I'm getting professional at this crap. Sorry. I almost did that with a straight face. But no. Cast it out, sink the tip, let the tip spring back. That means that the line's down to the water. Jerk the rod like that. That means the only line that was on the surface is now snapped onto the water, and the rod is now ready to rock and roll. You just have to tension up, and you're ready to see if there's bites coming. Getting loads of little tiny bites, and I've missed every one of them. And this is annoying. This is annoying the fuck out of me. But can't complain. I'm in the wilds of Enniskillen, enjoying myself. It could be worse. Could be sad at work, like I will be tomorrow morning. The fortnight that I was away on honeymoon with MSW, while I was away on honeymoon, the match fishing festivals here in the Erne system have been in full swing. Now, I don't fish anymore in the matches. I used to do them, doesn't interest me anymore, so I stopped fishing them. But it's always good to see the guys coming across and fishing. It's always good to see the results, to see what weights are producing and where they're producing them from. Where we are right now, at this point of the season, we're at the point of time where the roach want to run up a river to spawn. So there's days where you could hit a peg and catch, 40 kilos of roach, just purely roach, and go back to the same peg the next day and catch absolutely nothing. Here on the Erne, the Roach like to run. There's a couple of rivers. There's a famous one called the River Sillies. The River Sillies flows, almost through Fermanagh as a county. The headland of the River Sillies, there's a couple of locks. One of them's called Loch Ross. Loch Ross at the best of times is 18 inches of water followed by 6 foot of silt. It isn't a place I enjoy fishing. I just don't enjoy going there at all. I was planning to fish the Sillies today, but the two places that I went to go on to, there was guys practicing with a pole. Because the match anglers are here at the minute, they've had the pretty big competitions. I don't want to disturb those guys. Let those guys be. Anyone that's prepared to pay the money to enter a match, or come across to Northern Ireland to fish in a match, I give those guys a wide berth. Let them have their fishing. Let them get their practice sessions in. The reason I stopped match fishing, it got too much like work. It wasn't like fishing to me, it was like a job. And I kind of lost the taste for it. But I still have some very good friends that are match anglers, and I'm still fishing with a lot of them. It's always good to kind of chat to them and have a laugh with them. It's always good when you go fishing, on a day session with some of your friends that are cracking top end match anglers, and you end up catching more fish than them just on a pleasure angling day. That kind of makes me think that I still have it. But it's at the minute quite a lot of big matches here, big festivals. We're talking lots of big money. So I'm on Corrydiller. It's a nice big expanse of water. The wind's blowing into my face. I can see loads of little roach and perch surfacing in front of me. I'm fishing at 45 metres, and I'll be honest, I'm struggling. I really am. The bites that I'm getting are rapid little taps that strip the bait off the hook, and I'm not fit to hook them. So that's annoying me. So I've had to treat myself to a cigar and a ton of Monster, just to kind of get me back to that peaceful place. No. I was chatting earlier on about being on honeymoon. I will go back to Hawaii. Hawaii was brilliant. I love the place, and I will get on to some proper angling sessions out there. But the next mission for me and the wife is mortgage, house, and then kids. She's giving me grey hairs. I never used to have grey hair. When I first met MSW, I never had a grey hair in my head. And then she told me one night we were at a wedding, a friend's wedding, that she wanted 5 kids. And look at the fucking shape of me now. That's just thinking about 5 kids. I struggle to look after myself at times, let alone fucking children. But it's like the old saying goes, happy wife, happy life, eh? So 5 kids. Let's just see if how one goes first, shall we? Not that they're at that point just yet. We're working on that. Well, I've had the first fish of the day. A little perch. That means it's not a blank. Woohoo! very slow. Not catching a lot. Mostly little perch. Some little roach. Still very slow. It's just tell you what time it is now. It is 10 past 12 in the morning. Well, afternoon time. All I'm getting is little perch about that size there. Some small roach. I think about 30 fish in total. Oh, and an eel. So far today, the eel has been the best fish that I have caught. However, this being Northern Ireland, rules with eels are funny. You can't even put them into your keep net, you have to unhook them and release them immediately. If you're putting them in your keep net, you can get fined. I'm not quite sure who goes out and gives these fines to people, but apparently you can get fined. So thankfully the eel was only lightly hooked. Managed to get the hook out itself in the landing net, and then it was let back go in the log. The last thing you need is eel slime. It's but time for a wee tips, tricks and handy hints and all that sort of good stuff. When you're fishing with normal maggots, if you get yourself a bait tub like this, cut the outside of it, cut the inside of it out, and then put your maggots in the tub. Give them a wee spray with a flavouring of your choosing. That one's chocolate orange, but the one I went with today is pineapple. A good spray with that there, then a little bit of water, or if you're feeling super fancy, a little bit of lemonade. What'll happen is the maggots will start to suck in the oxygen and they'll become buoyant. This is great if you're fishing with a slightly longer tail, because the buoyant maggots will take longer to go down to the bottom. This gives the, if there's hybrids, this gives them a chance to attack the maggots as they fall. But there's no hybrids yet. I haven't caught it today. So catch a little perch. I did have some visitors. Looked like a grandfather and his little granddaughter came down. They're fishing with a whip. I don't even know if they caught the thing. No, just first thing the guy said to me was, "Do you think you have enough fishing tackle?" And I thought, "You cheeky old fucker. What's it to you what sort of fishing tackle I have?" But I'm not going to let it ruin my day. Another tip, in the bucket I have my normal ground bait. That's just dry or just normal mixed ground bait. There's nothing in it except ground bait. I have a little tub like this, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but in there there's the corn, the hemp, chopped worm, the maggots, the castor, everything in there. This is what I'm feeding in the feeder at the minute. That way I'm knowing how much I'm putting in. It's that way you know exactly what you're putting in into feeders. There's times I throw the feeder out with just the ground bait only in it. This is to create like a wee cloud around where the hook is, so you'd have no freebies, you'd have no little bits of food, just a cloud of ground bait. Ground bait's got a great smell. The ground bait I'm feeding today is Sonia bait, super feeder black, and worm meal. It's a 50-50 mix of that. I only mixed up about 1.5 kilos. You know, I didn't mix up an awful lot today. I knew it was going to be difficult today because we're fishing somewhere that at this time of year it's going to be difficult, and perch are pretty much the only thing that's not spawning at the minute, so I'm kind of screwed. But I haven't had any fishing in a fortnight, so I thought I'd kind of come out and go to fish. So yeah, I might even try to get some underwater release footage of the stuff going back when I do put it back, but let's see how that works out, shall we? This is pretty good. This stops the rain and stuff coming into your ground bait bucket to make your ground bait wetter than it needs to be. You just zip it up, have your ground bait, it starts to piss with rain, zip it closed again, dry ground bait, rock and roll. Little perch. Every cast. Well, hey, skippy perch, skippies. Every cast, a little perch. It's not good when I'm only catching a little perch and the one eel. The issue with fishing places like this is it's public access. So you'd have a lot of other anglers here. Which normally isn't that bad. Right at the minute, in front of me, there's a guy who's got his boat drifting through. I don't know what they're fishing for. It's either just on a drift, so, but they're about 20 metres past where I'm fishing, so don't really mind, don't care. Behind me, the fella throwing spoons. Well done on that, no one hooking mat. So you get worrying about the welfare of it that it gets caught, but you could bring up, ask them, but sort of calls her out. Can't be arsed today. It can't be arsed to give us. Right. Now I'm going to show you how I store my maggots for periods of not being used. Maggots will go into a sort of a dormant stasis. If you take away oxygen. So, this is a shrink or vacuum packed bag. I don't know if you can see it, but a vacuum packer basically melts one end of the tube so you can't get anything out of it. You then want to put your maggots into the bag carefully without spilling them all over the place. Otherwise you'll have blue bottles forever. Get it back in the bag. Where'd that other one go? Just making sure that I get them all out of the bait tub. And there you go. These will now be put to sleep. I'm going to put this in the fridge. They'll go to sleep. Then around about Friday next week, I'll open the bag up, let them get some oxygen, and they're back to being perfect to use again. So there you have it. Top tips how to store maggots for a longer period. This helps you if you're going somewhere where there is no real bait supplies. But fortunately here, we've got no problems with bait supplies. But this is just a tip on how to store your maggots, so you have maggots for when you want to go fishing. Alright troops, I know today's video seems to be a bit arse about face and all over the place, and today the fishing wasn't that great. The fishing was awful. I had about 30 about 30 perch, a handful, about maybe 5 or 6 small roach, nothing any size, an eel of about 1.5 pounds, and trout broke me off. Such is life. The roach and the bream are now fully in spawning mode, so we're not going to catch them, not at least for another fortnight at least. So this fishing video was a bit of a letdown. I apologise.